Armstrong Malemo is among the many countrymen and women who have today been recognized as heroes. A retired Kenya Airways captain, Captain Malemo ruled the airways or the jet streams for a total of 40 years. He has flown senior leaders like the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi and has his name on the Kenyan history books by bringing back KDF soldiers from a mission in Namibia. Grace Kuriakanja with his story.
My name's Captain Armstrong Malemo. The name Armstrong, I named myself about the first man who landed on the moon. He was called Neil Armstrong. So I was just calling myself Armstrong to imitate the first man to land on the moon. So I thought, what can I also do to go into history like being a first in something?
And true to it, he lived up to his expectations.
I'm proud to say that I was the first pilot in Africa to fly Airbus A310-300.
See, retired Captain Armstrong's scintillating career started in 1978. Quick question, where were you then? But before then, on 20th July 1975, he already knew what he wanted. He was to either be a pilot or an engineer.
From the flying school, I joined Kenya Airways. And luckily enough, when we were just qualifying, Kenya was newly formed.
But ladies and gentlemen, there is no easy way to the top. Captain Malemo, who for 40 years flew high-profile leaders, among them the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, and probably you, says this job is not for the faint-hearted. It requires grit.
I was selected to go and bring the Kenya Defense Forces soldiers from Namibia. The Kenya Defense Forces soldiers had participated in peacekeeping when Namibia was attaining its independence. So I'm the one who was selected to go and bring them back, to ferry them back. And why me? Because the airport was fairly challenging because it is a remote, Namibia is a semi-desert, and this was a very remote airport in a location called Grofontaine. There were no facilities for landing the aircraft, like radio aids or navigational aids, and the flight was at night. So you had to be competent to be selected to do that kind of a flight.
But he navigated through it, and throughout his 4-decade-long career, he has never had any accident. Perhaps why these and many more achievements led him to be declared Shujaa on this Mashujaa Day.
I feel excited. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I mean, I've been recognized and I feel I deserved this.
Having retired in 2018, Captain Malemo detailed what it is like to encounter a threat on the airways.
Whether it's just somebody calling and saying, oh, I put something like this, or there's somebody on that board who can do ABCD, you don't take it as a hoax. Okay, you handle it as a real threat until you prove that it was not a real threat.
Indeed, his has been a glamorous and rewarding career. We celebrate you, Captain Malemo, and all other Shujaas.
You have to be hardworking. You have to have that determination. It's like you are focused, you want to do this career, and you have to stay focused. You have to have self-discipline. You are supposed to be at an airport at this particular time. There's no plus or minus. In fact, you're allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. And then they call standby crew. You have to follow the instructions. They tell you, don't do this. And they mean it when you are told whatever. So there's that self-discipline. You need some courage also, to some extent.
Grace Kuriakanja, TV 47.
60 years ago.